The wedding guests gasped the moment the groom stepped out of the luxury black car. Emily felt the bouquet slip from her trembling fingers. Standing at the end of the aisle, wasn't the wealthy businessman her parents had promised. It was the same poor stranger she had humiliated just 3 months earlier, the same man she'd laughed at, the same man she'd called homeless, and now he was about to become her husband. 3 months earlier, Emily Parker had everything money could buy: designer clothes, luxury vacations, a penthouse overlooking the city. To everyone else, she looked like the perfect woman. But beneath the polished smile was someone who judged people by the size of their wallets. One rainy evening, Emily stopped at a small roadside cafe after a business meeting. As she stepped out of her sports car, she noticed a young man sitting alone near the entrance. His jeans were faded, his jacket looked old, his shoes were dusty. He quietly sipped coffee while reading a worn notebook. Emily wrinkled her nose. Some people just don't belong in places like this, she thought. As she walked past him, she accidentally dropped her expensive leather wallet. The young man quickly picked it up. "Excuse me, miss." Emily turned around. "You dropped this." Instead of thanking him, she grabbed the wallet. "You looked through it, didn't you?" His calm eyes widened. "No. Liar." People inside the cafe began watching. Emily folded her arms. "I know your type. You pretend to help people, hoping for a reward." The stranger remained surprisingly calm. "I only wanted to return what belonged to you," Emily smirked. "Keep dreaming. I don't give money to scammers." A waitress stepped forward. "Ma'am, he comes here every day to write. He's never bothered anyone." Emily ignored her. "You should spend less time pretending to be a writer and more time finding a real job." Without another word, she walked inside. The cafe fell silent. The stranger simply looked down at his notebook and smiled sadly. "My mother always said, kindness costs nothing." Weeks passed. Emily completely forgot about the incident. She was too busy planning the future her parents had arranged. Their company was struggling financially. To save the family business, Emily had agreed to marry the son of one of the country's wealthiest investors. She had never met him. Her parents assured her he lived overseas and preferred privacy. "Trust us. He's successful, intelligent, and incredibly wealthy." Emily didn't love the idea, but she loved the lifestyle she refused to lose. If marrying a rich man saves everything, she sighed, then fine. The wedding was scheduled for 3 months later. Meanwhile, the quiet stranger kept returning to the cafe. Every morning, every afternoon, he filled notebook after notebook with handwritten pages. The waitress often smiled. "Still writing your novel?" He nodded. "Almost finished." She laughed. "I hope it changes your life." He smiled. "It already has." One afternoon, Emily returned to the same cafe. This time, she wasn't alone. Her spoiled friends occupied the largest table. As they laughed loudly, Emily noticed the stranger once again sitting near the window. One of her friends whispered, "Doesn't he ever leave?" Emily rolled her eyes. "Maybe he's waiting for someone to buy him lunch." The women burst into laughter. The stranger quietly stood to leave. As he passed their table, Emily called out. He stopped. "I finally have something for you." She pulled a $10 bill from her purse and placed it on the table. "There, you've earned it." The cafe became painfully quiet. The stranger looked at the money, then back at Emily. He smiled politely. "I hope one day you discover the difference between wealth and value." He left without touching the money. Emily scoffed. What a strange man. The wedding day finally arrived. The church sparkled with white roses and crystal chandeliers. Photographers rushed everywhere. Guests whispered excitedly about the mysterious billionaire groom. Emily adjusted her elegant wedding dress. Her mother smiled proudly. "Today changes everything." Emily nodded nervously. "I just hope he's handsome." Outside, luxury cars began arriving. Then, one final black sedan stopped. The church doors opened. Emily looked toward the entrance. Her smile disappeared. Walking confidently inside was the same quiet stranger from the cafe, except today. He wore a perfectly tailored tuxedo. Every guest immediately stood. Several wealthy executives rushed over to shake his hand. Emily blinked repeatedly. No, it can't be. Her father walked beside him, smiling warmly. Emily, I'd like you to meet your fiancé, Daniel Carter. Emily stared in disbelief. The cafe, the notebook. Daniel smiled gently. Hello again. Her face turned pale. I thought. You thought I was poor? He nodded. You weren't the first. Emily could barely breathe. Her father whispered. Daniel owns Carter Publishing. He also inherited Carter Hotels. And the notebook? Emily asked softly. Daniel lifted it. My next best-selling novel. The room spun around her. Every cruel word she had ever spoken echoed in her mind. She couldn't finish. Daniel looked into her eyes. You judged me before you knew my name. Tears filled hers. I know. I'm ashamed. The officiant quietly waited while the church watched in silence. You should walk away. For several long seconds, Daniel said nothing. Finally, he stepped closer. When you insulted me, I almost did. Emily looked up, but then I wondered. What kind of pain makes someone believe money decides a person's worth? Her tears finally fell. I grew up believing love depended on status. My parents measured success with bank accounts. I became the person they taught me to admire. Daniel gently handed her the old notebook. Read the first page. She opened it. Written neatly across the top were the words, "The richest hearts are often hidden beneath the simplest clothes." Emily covered her mouth. I'm so sorry. I can't erase what I did. Daniel smiled softly. No, but people can choose who they become next. The church remained completely silent. Emily took a deep breath. For the first time in my life, I want someone for who they are, not for what they own. Daniel extended his hand. So, shall we start over? She smiled through her tears. I'd like that. The guests applauded as she placed her hand in his. The ceremony continued, but this time, it wasn't about saving a business or protecting a fortune. It was about two people choosing honesty over pride. When the officiant declared them husband and wife, Daniel leaned close and whispered, You know, I never wanted revenge. Emily looked at him. What did you want? He smiled. I wanted the woman who mocked me too. Become the woman who inspired. My next love story. She laughed through happy tears. And did she? He kissed her forehead. She just did. Sometimes the greatest disguise isn't old clothes or worn shoes. It's the quiet strength of someone who never feels the need to prove their worth. And sometimes, the person we underestimate the most becomes the one who changes our life forever.